Hello everyone, this is Yuge Veza from Green Gadgets, and I want to show you a Commell LP-170 Pico-ITX motherboard. The motherboard OEM kit comes tightly packed in a small cardboard box from Commell. Let's open the box and see what we have inside. Okay, so inside the box we have the Pico-ITX motherboard itself, SATA power cable and Molex power cable, dual serial RS-232 port, a USB header that provides two high-speed USB 2.0 ports, a power connector that provides 12 volt DC power supply to the motherboard, a PS2 splitter that you can use to connect your PS2 keyboard and PS2 mouse to the motherboard, a SATA 2 cable that you can use to connect the SATA hard disk or SSD disk, and finally a sound audio header that you can use to connect headphones or 2.1 speakers or a microphone. Let's set the box aside. Okay, let's see what we have on the motherboard itself. The motherboard itself is currently the highest performing Pico-ITX motherboard available on the market. It contains an Intel Atom D525 CPU, which is a dual-core CPU running at 1.8 GHz. Other options are also available with less performance CPUs, an ICH8 mobile chipset, and supports up to 4 GB DDR2 RAM running at 667 MHz. Okay, on the board itself, as you see, it is really tiny. The dimensions of the board itself are just 10 by 7.2 centimeters. As you can see, if you compare it to an Intel D510 Atom Mini ITX motherboard, you can see it's really tiny. You can basically fit 4 Pico-ITX motherboards on the size of one Mini ITX motherboard. The board itself contains a header for 2 serial ports that I showed you before, a header for audio in and out port, 2 USB headers. Each header supplies up to 2 USB 2.0 ports, an LPC, a low pin counter header. This is mostly useful in industrial applications, but a modder can use it to control LEDs or something like this. One SATA port that provides up to 300 megabytes per second transfer. CMOS battery that is used to keep the correct time in BIOS. This is a BIOS chip. A mini PCI Express socket that you can use to mount any mini PCI Express card. Actually, it's not limited to just Wi-Fi or Bluetooth card. You can use a really wide range of cards, starting from FireWire and end up USB 3.0 ports and camera capture card. And today almost anything is possible. You can browse Commell website and see the various mini PCI Express cards they provide. On this side we have power and hard disk and power LED activity pins. This is a fan header that is used to control a fan that is attached to the heatsink on the motherboard. As a side note, the motherboard itself arrives from Commell with this heatsink and fan, and unfortunately it cannot run fanless, but we have developed an entire solution, including our custom-made case, that this board can be running fanless. This is a 12 volt DC pin. Here we have a PC speaker. Yes, today it's not so common to have, but because this is an industrial motherboard, it does feature a PC speaker. The red jumper is a jumper that allows you to control if you want the motherboard to start automatically each time the power is supplied, or you want to have to press a power button. So this is useful if you want to make a mini server out of this motherboard, so anytime you have a power failure or something like this, or you want to supply power remotely, you can just put this jumper in this auto power on position and the board will start automatically. Here we have an LVDS header that you can use to connect this motherboard to an LCD display, or just provide digital or second VGA output. And here we have a VGA output. It is capable of outputting 1080p, but unfortunately not digital, only analog, and the LVDS is digital, but Intel intentionally limit is to 720p in order to not compete with other Intel products. Here we have a PS2 port, an Intel gigabit LAN port, and on the solder side we have one socket for DDR2 SODIMM card that can support, as I said earlier, up to 4 GB DDR2 RAM in one slot, running at 667 MHz. A compact flash slot that you can use to install a compact flash card. This is independent of the SATA port, so you can use both compact flash and SATA and choose in the BIOS which one to boot, and you can use one for boot and another for storage. And here we have on this side we have a power output connection that you can use to connect to provide power to your SATA hard disk or to your SSD disk. And this is an LVDS to digital panel connector. This is only needed if you really want to connect this board to an LCD monitor. Okay, let's see how we can install everything. Let's start with PS2 cable. It's a bit hard because I'm using one hand and taking a movie with another hand. SATA cable. Dual USB cable. dual serial cable, an audio in-out cable, power, and finally this one I cannot do with one hand, sorry. Okay, thank you for watching.